The classic trolley problem is that a trolley is running down a track and there are 5 people either tied to the track or they're workers and they don't know the trolley.
What race?
Jewish.
Run them over. No. Go. 5 people are tied to the track.
And
Okay.
you've got one on the other side.
Yes.
Or one on another track.
Because the track splits, I presume.
Very clever.
Gotcha. Thank you. I'm
And,
good at this.
and they've got a lever that you can, it's kind of
Yes.
next to you, and you can pull the lever. And if you pull the lever, 5 people are saved, and the trolley runs over 1 person.
Yeah.
And the question is simply, would you pull the lever? I don't know. Would you pull the lever?
I don't think you pull it.
No?
I don't think so.
Why
Because
not?
now you're responsible for death.
Yeah, because then you are letting 5 people die rather than making 1 person die. And I think letting versus actively doing changes it.
Can we ask
I pull the
questions?
lever.
Okay, go. What about you, Al?
I don't pull the lever. Same reason.
Are we allowed to ask questions about the people, or does that destroy the whole?
Well,
you
the thing
can.
is, you-
Like age, for example, might be
in
important.
this circumstance, you don't know, right? Or you assume that they're all like 25. But
Got it. They're of equal
what you
ages.
can then do once
Yeah.
you work out whether you pull the lever or not is then start changing these variables.
Okay. Give me
And
the toughest
You pull
variable.
the lever?
That really helps.
Lever?
Yeah. Would you pull the lever?
No.
Why
Wait,
not?
what is it? It's going to hit 5.
Gonna
and
hit
then it
5,
could
and
hit
if you
1?
pull it,
If
it'll
you
hit
don't pull the
1.
lever, it hits 5. If you pull the lever, it hits 1, but you pull the lever.
Will they all follow me on Instagram? Yeah, I don't think that I could be responsible for it.
Okay, so then here's the thing, right? So one way you could adapt this is say, because at least the 3 of you think that you wouldn't pull the lever. What if it was 100 people on that track? What if it was 1,000 people on that track?
Yeah, eventually you get to
What if
the
it's
number.
like a city? Or what if it was like your own mother? You know, like surely there is some circumstance in which you would kind of be okay with pulling the lever,
I feel this way about abortion.
right?
Like, 1 or 2 or 4 is fine, but like 1,000,
Yeah, what would
you got to pull the lever on that girl, right?
Like if 1 person had 1,000 abortions.
yeah, like eventually there's a lever where you're like, all right, sew it up or something.
yeah. But okay. so
I joke, I'm being hyperbolic,
No,
but at the
but-
same time, you're like, wait, what is going on
you
here?
can work
that
this out. Like
yeah.
you can figure out what you think about abortion. So take a like a 1-year-old child and take like 1,000 fertilized zygotes and put them on the other side of the track and ask what someone would do. Which would they run over?
Child.
And I think it's well, like some people actually would say that, and that's fine.
Yeah, because
that's your
that's
view,
what they
but it
believe
helps you
life
to work out
begins,
what you actually believe. Because a lot of people will look at that and be like, if I'm being honest with myself, what I would probably do is I would probably run over those zygotes. You can't even see them; they're like dust on the floor,
Yep.
right? And that's probably what I would do. So you adapt it in such a way as to, and you can apply it to specific.
And that doesn't
examples to
mean
help
that you
figure it
don't
out.
think it's wrong. Those people
No,
might
no.
think it's really wrong, but
yeah,
in
It
this
just helps you
moment,
figure out what's so here what
Yeah.
we've just pulled out is
Yeah.
the difference between doing and allowing, which is like a really important ethical distinction. Is
Yeah.
there a difference between doing and allowing? And it doesn't mean that allowing people to die is always right. It just means that it's less bad than proactively killing people, right? So then, okay, so take an example where one of my favorites is the trolley's going down a track and there's 1 person tied up, and there's another track where there's also just 1 person tied up. But you think you'll really get a kick out of killing someone. You think it's going to be like great fun. Is it wrong to pull the lever?
Yes.
yeah,
Why?
because wanting to kill people for fun is bad.
Why?
I assume this is an impulse that once you break that seal, it's quite possible you break
But
it again.
suppose we just know that this person like is a perfectly well integrated member of society who recognizes that this kind of like kick they get out of the thought of killing someone is totally immoral and they'd never act in accordance with it.
Yeah.
But look, I've got this opportunity
So this is, to me, doing is worse than allowing.
to enact
What's
upon it
interesting with the first one,
This is Dexter.
and be like guilt
Are
free.
you familiar with the show?
I haven't seen it.
He's a serial killer that like finds a way to kill just
Oh,
bad
cool.
people.
Yeah. Right. So
But this is the trolley
it's
problem,
not even
essentially.
that they're bad people. It's not like, oh, they deserve this. It's literally like
Somebody's got to die.
Somebody's got to die here.
I get to scratch my itch.
Exactly. And here's an interesting consideration:
Yeah.
is that have you ever heard of utilitarianism?
yeah,
So the
the
view that-
greatest good for the greatest number of people, right?
And that's usually cashed out in terms of maximizing pleasure or minimizing suffering.
Pain, yeah.
Right. This is what morality is about. That's what it is for the utilitarian. And pleasure is defined very broadly there. It doesn't just mean
Yeah,
like,
okay.
It doesn't just,
It's not a brothel.
yeah, exactly. It's like anything which is well-being.
That's
Exactly.
how I-
right.
food, shelter.
And so here's the thing, right? If you're a utilitarian, then suppose it's not you. Suppose it's someone else who's going to pull that lever, and you know for a fact that they will get some pleasure out of pulling that lever and killing that person. It might not just be that it's permissible for them to pull the lever. If you're a utilitarian, it might be a duty. They might have to. because that will maximize pleasure. Same number of people die, except one extra person is now going to get an increase. You actually got an obligation to
So if we have these people, let's say we have these serial killers, right?
Yeah.
And we are utilitarian in our philosophy.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I think you know where I'm going with this. Like, do we make them be the people that flip the switch for the electric chair?
There you go, man. Yeah. Like,
Right?
right, exactly.
We can give them jobs. Wow. And is that what abortion doctors are? No. Now we're getting too crazy. But I do.
We'll be right back.
I do. No. I'm teasing, obviously. But like, I do think these ethical dilemmas present themselves in its like even vaccinating your kid, right? And again, I'm not going to talk about like whether vaccines work or don't work or plus or negative for society. But like the fear as a parent when you have a brand newborn baby you love more than anything, it's so amazing.
Yeah.
And like you watch one video where you're like, this could cause harm to your kid.
It makes sense to be terrified, yeah.
Because now you have the lever, right? You go, do I want to be the person who takes responsibility for causing the harm?
Yep. Oh, shit.
Or do I not pull it and then, God forbid, they get measles or mumps or whatever that shit is? And now...
It's not my fault. So, but this is the thing, like
is that parents trying to not be the responsible
Exactly.
party?
But a lot of people look at that. A lot of people look at that and they say, but that's bad parenting. And if that's bad parenting, then maybe there's something more going on. It's not just as simple as like, well, doing is bad, but allowing is kind of fine. It's like, no, there's something more complicated going on.
So how would you handle that? Like, what are all the different ways to think about that scenario?
I think something important there is like the probability, because there's no certainty involved. The trolley problem, you have certainty.
Right.
And so you need a version where you're uncertain. So say, for example, there is a track that's got one person on it, and there's another track that's got a big sort of box that you can't see, and it's got a 99% chance of having nobody in it, but a 1% chance of having 100 people in it.
Oof.
So same expected value, right? Exactly the same expected value. Because you've got a 1% chance of 100, expected value is 1.
Yep.
You've got a 100% chance of 1, expected value is 1.
Yeah.
So would you take that chance?
I might be inclined to pull it.
I would probably pull it.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
what does that tap into? There's got to be some
that tells
sort of
us that
positive thinking.
If most people say that they would pull the lever, it tells us that expected value doesn't actually work properly. Because you should, if you're being rational, you should say, well, I have no preference whatsoever.
I bet a poker player
you
would
do
be like,
have
I
a
don't know what to do. But the rest of us who aren't doing these calculations, maybe it'd be more difficult.
But I think what it shows is that expected value is a bad way of thinking about stuff. So, because this is how you work something out. If you've got a gamble, like you sort of do the expected value and work out which is higher. But that's not actually how people think. You know the game Deal or No Deal?
Yeah.
My friend Phil Halper pointed this out to me, that like if you're playing Deal or No Deal, and you've got a box, so say one of the boxes is like 0 and one of the boxes is like $500,000, right?
This is good.
If you're then offered $150,000,
Yeah.
like, are you taking that?
Fuck no, give me that $500,000.
But the thing is, it probably depends on who you are, right? If you've got a lot of money and that's not life changing to you, you're going to think, oh, expected value. So I've got like.
And if you have nothing, you're taking that
But if you,
150.
you are
I'd take it.
absolutely
You're right.
perfectly
So
rational to take 100.
I have a different answer than all these guys on everything. That's great.
Even though expected value says that you should obviously like take the risk for the $500,000 because the expected value is $250,000.
Yep.
And you've only been offered $150,000.
Wait, can I selfishly, because I'm the only person that answered the trolley thing that way, I don't look at it as doing and letting. I guess I look at it as doing, but I'd be saving 5 people. That's the way my brain goes.
Oh, that's your do. Your do.
My doing is I'm saving 5 people, and one person had to die for me to save 5 people. And I think if I was that one person on the track, I think I would understand. I wouldn't be like, hey, let him go. I'm not some fucking saint.
But what about the Fat Man variation?
That's
real quick before the Fat Man, just on that, like I think there are these.
Hey, that's no way to speak about your friend. Just trying to get
these. I forget the type of like hedge fund it is, but essentially what they do is they buy up businesses, they restructure them, they lay off 10,000 people, but there's still 40,000 people that work there. Yeah. And I think Mitt Romney was one of the guys who owned Bain Capital, and this is one of the things they did. And he was like a devout religious dude. I think he was Mormon.
Yeah, he's Mormon.
He was Mormon, but and I think someone asked him is like, how do you deal with that? Like, how do you handle the fact that you're like letting 10,000 people go? And his answer was, Akash's answer is like, I saved 40,000 people's jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's literally just a case of how you think about it.
Yeah, and I don't know if what he's done is immoral at all. I think if you're focusing on those 10,000, but he pulled a lever to save 40,000.
In my view, it depends how you feel. Like
how do you feel like outside of like the thought experiment? Like what did you say, like basic instinct?
Yeah.
What is yours
about what? About like the lever?
Yeah.
Like I think pulling the lever feels right. Right, it feels like that's a good thing to do.
Just to save more people.
Save the 5 to kill 1, but like it's uncertain, right? And the point is it's supposed to be difficult. But the real utility in the trolley problem is whatever you say, you then adapt it. So you said you wouldn't pull the lever because, you don't want to kill someone versus 5. And then you just up the ante and make it 100,000 people. And suddenly I didn't actually ask, would you pull the lever then if it were 100,000 people?
I would pull the lever then.
It's like the whole city of New York,
Right.
So at least in your case, it does change the scenario.
Yeah.
You said that you would pull the lever, you would kill one person to save 5 because you're saving 5 even though you have to kill one. So, as you point out, a famous sort of next variation of this is like the trolley is going towards 5 people, you're stood on a bridge, and there's a fat man on the bridge. And if you push the fat man off the bridge, he'll crash into the train and the train will stop and he'll kill the fat man, but it will stop it from running over the 5 people who are tied to the track. Would you push that fat man off the bridge? You would.
Yeah.
So no, good. That means you seem to be thinking very rationally about this.
I'm consistent.
You would actually push a fat guy?
I don't know if I'm strong enough because I can't really lift much weights, but yes.
I don't get the physics. If you push him off the bridge,
Yeah, because
he's
the
gonna
train's
fall.
going under the bridge.
Oh, the train's going under the
He's-
bridge.
yeah.
Got it. I'm like, I thought the train's going over the bridge.
There's no.
I need diagrams. For
I
this.
thought the train was
Yeah.
going over the bridge.
I thought the train is like one of the Western movies where the people are running. You never seen Stand By Me?
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I've seen it.
That's what I'm thinking. I was like, one of the guys is fat. I'm like, okay,
That's
he's
not
going
why
to
I'm
stop the
looking at you
train.
blankly.
I'm still
Yeah.
saving 5 people. It's the same thing.
So
But you would kill someone you're with that's completely
Pulling the
innocent.
lever is killing. So I've made that decision. Now I'm just shoving instead of
you
pulling
would
the lever.
you would just shove this guy off the bridge.
I mean, again, I'm not strong, but I would try.
But he's on the edge, and it's your friend, and he's looking at. He's like, "Oh my God, these people are gonna die."
My friend is different. Friend is different.
Why?
Because then I am
random fat
inconsistent.
guy.
No, then I am inconsistent. If my mom is on the bridge or 5 strangers, I'm not pulling the lever. I'm not shoving my mom. That is now. If it's my dad, heave ho. But yeah, that's my inconsistency will stop at my wife, my kids, my mom, my best friends. Sure, but in general, if I'm saving 5 people and they're all strangers, I'm saving 5 people.
Yeah.
And I'm not utilitarianism to the absolute. That's crazy at a certain point, but like I do largely have that idea. Like it's saving more people. What are we doing?
Yeah. So here's something funny. They put people in an MRI scanner and asked them about the trolley problem, and the people who said that they would pull the lever, but they wouldn't push the fat man, which is most people, by the way, I think.
That's weird.
People who would pull the lever but wouldn't push the fat man, in the MRI scanner, the part of their brain that like deals with emotion was lighting up. Whereas the people who said that they would pull the lever and push the fat man, the part of their brain that deals with like rational thinking,
That's me.
was lighting up.
To me,
And so
it's just pure logic.
It was an indication that a lot of people just think emotively about this and don't realize. They think that they're considering an ethical consideration, but really they're just like feeling it out. Yeah. And so it's interesting. So people like you seem to be thinking like rationally about it, and you're trying to sort of put it in like very sort of non-emotive terms. But then you said like you'd be inconsistent when it comes to like your family.
Correct.
And the question is like, why? Or is it inconsistent? Or do you just have an ethical worldview which says that it's okay to prioritize your own family?
I have a love for those people that's overwhelming to the point that ethics is not a concern of mine. Morality is not a concern
But maybe that's
of
just
mine.
what ethics is. Maybe ethics is about like love. And maybe ethics just permits you to care more about your family.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
But again, this is where I'm not saying it's to dismiss what you do. This is where my brain jumps to like, well, yeah, whatever it is, I'm fine with it. I understand there's inconsistency, and I'm okay with that level of inconsistency.
And that's another thing when I was saying about like the philosophical masturbating. Most people, they have their ideas, but like if you're like, oh, I think torture is always wrong, and I think that we should minimize suffering and harvest organs in this circumstance. But if someone like holds a gun to your daughter's head,
Yeah.
that just goes out the window.
Yeah.
Man. Like nobody is nobody except maybe like Peter Singer. He's probably the kind of person that would actually sit there and like do a calculation on his little sheet of paper. But nobody's thinking in this way.
Yeah.
That's not how.
Have you
it's
read
actually
that
done.
Jonathan Haidt book, The Righteous Mind?
I haven't actually read it.
But you're familiar with
But
the
yeah,
idea
yeah.
that we're like emotional beings and
Yeah.
they retrofit this logic afterwards.
Yeah.
So that's probably what we're getting to about all this. But maybe his emotion is to protect as many people as possible, and our emotion is more selfish.
Yeah.
Like maybe you have more altruistic emotions.
just
Like you're
feels
like,
like the logic-
everybody's a stranger. I'll protect those 5 strangers over that one, and the rest of us are like, I don't want to be a killer.
The guilt of letting 5 people die to me would be overwhelming.
Okay, so if say there's a track. This time the track is like a circle, and there's a person tied on that end, and you'll sit here with the lever, and the trolley's going around, and the lever only changes the direction of the trolley, so you can just sort of make it go back and forth. Mm-hmm. How many times do you pull that lever before you let it run over the guy?
Oh, I would like to think in a vacuum, infinite, but if everybody in the train is saying XYZ to me, who knows? At a certain point,
No one
your
on the
brain
train, like,
lays
you just
down.
stood there, like, and you're pulling this lever back and forth. I mean, the guy's gonna die. He's just tied to a track. He's just gonna die anyway.
I wait for him to die and then I go. Once he dies of starvation,
So you would stand there for like a week.
yeah.
Like staying awake, pulling that
Doing
lever
my
back
best,
and
yeah.
forth.
Doing my
To watch
absolute
him,
best.
to watch
If
him,
my body gives out, my body gives out.
to watch him slowly die.
Yeah.
You
of
got to do a little
starvation.
bit. You got to do it at least 5-10 times. You can't just let it go and then explain to
You're
him
gonna
why.
run over
Why
him
not?
5 times?
This is what you would do. No,
Why not, man?
No, you would go back and forth, right?
I actually understand your logic.
I don't
now
know.
that you're saying
I don't know because like
it's euthanasia basically.
Because this
Do you
guy's
allow
just-
this guy? Do you just
this
take
guy's
this guy out of his
absolutely
misery?
terrified.
Oh, he's gonna die no matter
yeah,
what.
I guess.
He's
Yeah,
gonna die
then
no matter what.
Maybe
Like-
the ethical thing is just letting him.
like how long are you gonna?
I think
pull
you
that
got to
lever?
start explaining that to him.
However
Like, yo,
long
you're
it took
dying
me
no
to
matter
realize
what.
that. That's how many times I've pulled the
You
lever.
just said that you want to watch him like starve to death, which is
Yeah.
like a horrible. I'd rather be hit
That's
by a
true.
train.
He
than
didn't say he
starve
wants to
death.
watch him starve to death.
Well,
I'd
that's what
rather
you would
do
do.
that.
That would happen.
Yeah,
but
what-
that's not what he wants.
That's what that is what you
But,
would
yeah,
want to do in that circumstance.
He
if
wants
I-
to not be responsible for his death. Him starving.
then don't pull the lever at all. Because, like, remember a moment ago we were talking about because the thing
not
is,
pulling the lever
this
at
is the
all.
thing. Like,
yeah,
a moment ago you said that. Well, if I pull the lever,
true.
then I'm involving myself. It's like, well, then don't just lever.
Who
and then
invented
just
this
run away.
lever thing? This is great. What did you
This
guys do
was
before
Judith
trains?
Jarvis Thompson. Yeah.
But before trains, what did you have to talk about?
Atlantis and shit.
Yeah.
Pedophilia.
The fucking
And kids.
what is it? The
They're running
green
trains on
tablets of
chil-
oath or
Yeah,
something.
they're running trains on children. That's what
I mean, the
Not all
invention.
philosophers.
But the invention of the train really changed your guys' whole life.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, what would you talk about before? You're like, should we be communists?
People
More
had
people need to eat.
people
People are hungry.
people would
And
debate
then the fucking train was invented. You're like, yeah, this is good.
people would debate weird and wacky stuff.
Like,
Famously, Plato defined a human being as a featherless biped. That was his
Yeah.
definition of what a human being
Sure.
is. And then I think it was
Featherless what? I missed it.
biped.
Walk on two.
So an animal's
know
got
about
2
that,
feet and doesn't have any feathers. So then I think it was Diogenes who like took a chicken and plucked all of its feathers and like ran into the room where Plato was teaching and held it up and went, "Behold, Plato's
human."
man." You know?
Yeah.
And so they would just debate shit like that all the time, and it was just essentially definitional.
and why was
like,
this supported? Like, who was funding this back in the day? Are you?
education? I suppose used to be just a privilege of people who could afford it.
But this could be a job. Like back in the day, there are people that were just waxing poetic on philosophy, and the king was like, "Yeah, keep doing that shit."
I don't know about like back in ancient times. I don't really know how they were making their money.
You'd have
but-
students as well, wouldn't they?
But yeah, they'd have like students. But then I think some philosophers would probably have students that didn't pay. They just like had a school of people, a Jesus of Nazareth style.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you'd have students. I mean, famously, Aristotle tutored Alexander the Great. Mm-hmm. You know, like there are some pretty high clientele that want some philosophical wisdom, and so they're probably making money through that.